I have to admit, when I first scanned this February report from the Daily Fiscal, I I actually thought there was a massive typo in the spreadsheet.
You mean the fee structure for the subprime card?
Yeah, the fee harvester model. I was looking at the numbers and they just didn't compute.
Right. Looking at those numbers in black and white usually makes people angry. And honestly, it really should.
Angry is putting it lightly.
Mm.
I mean, I'm looking at this deal, and if I walked up to a stranger on the street and said, uh, hey, give me $259 in cash, and in exchange, I will lend you $300, they'd call the police.
It completely sounds like a scam when you say it out loud like that. But that is the actual reality of the unsecured credit rebuilding market in 2026.
It's wild.
Millions of people are essentially saying yes to that exact deal every single year.
And that's exactly why we are here today. We are stripping away the marketing fluff. This isn't just a deep dive into plastic.
It's far from it.
It's really a crash course in what the source material calls fiscal realism. So our mission today is simple. We are going to save you from what they call the fee harvester trap, and then we are going to hand you a mathematical roadmap.
A 12-month timeline.
Exactly, a timeline to basically resurrect your financial life.
And we really need to be precise here. This isn't just about, getting by. This is about avoiding financial crimes disguised as help.
Financial crimes disguised as help. That phrase really sticks with me. So let's unpack this whole fee harvester concept. It sounds like a sci-fi horror movie villain.
It kind of is.
But it's actually a very specific financial product targeted at people with credit scores under 600, right?
It is. These are products meticulously designed for the vulnerable. I mean, if your score is 550, you can't just walk into a major bank and get a premium card.
Right, you get laughed out of the lobby.
Exactly. You're desperate for a lifeline. And the fee harvester marketing pitch is, well, it's brilliant in a very dark way. It screams one thing in giant letters.
Yeah.
No security deposit required.
Right. And psychologically, that just works. If you're broke or say you're rebuilding after bankruptcy, coming up with a deposit feels like climbing a mountain.
It does.
So no deposit sounds like the easy path.
It triggers immediate relief. You think, oh, great, I don't have to lock up my own money.
Yeah.
But that relief is entirely the bait. The Daily Fiscal Report actually breaks down the forensic accounting of a typical subprime unsecured offer circulating right now.
Let's go through these line items because this is where the crime actually happens. So you sign up because you want to avoid a $200 deposit. First thing that happens, you get hit with an annual fee.
Right, typically around $95 right out of the gate.
Okay, $95. That's steep, but maybe standard for a high-end travel card, which this definitely is not.
Definitely not.
But then I saw the second charge on the spreadsheet, a monthly maintenance fee.
That's the killer right there. It's usually about $6.25 a month.
Which doesn't sound like much.
It doesn't. It's the price of a fancy latte. But do the math on that. That is $75 a year, just for the privilege of the account existing. It's like a streaming subscription where you don't get to watch any movies, you just get to hold a remote.
That is a perfect analogy. You're literally paying a subscription fee for your own debt. And we aren't even done. There's a processing fee too, or an application fee.
$89, just to process the paperwork to say yes to you.
Okay, let's total this up. $95 annual fee, $75 in monthly maintenance, $89 application fee. That is a total first-year cost of $259.
And here is the absolute kicker. The credit limit on that card is usually capped at $300.
So going back to my opening point, you are paying $259 in non-refundable fees to access a $300 limit.
You're effectively buying your own money at a massive markup.
It makes my blood boil a little bit.
Yeah. The Daily Fiscal puts this in a perspective that really chilled me. They calculated the hidden interest rate. If you treat those upfront fees as interest on that $300 credit line, you are paying an 86% interest rate before you even swipe the card to buy a pack of gum.
86%.
Yes.
That's not credit, that's just wealth extraction.
It's a mathematical trap designed specifically to keep the user poor. That's why they call it fee harvesting. They aren't betting on you paying interest later. They are harvesting their profit up front from your desperation. They get their money the second you open the account.
It's wild because they market it as unsecured, implying it's better because you don't have to tie up your own cash. But in reality, you are tying up your cash. You're just giving it to them forever instead of putting it in a deposit you might get back.
Precisely. Now, to be fair, the source does mention that there are legitimate unsecured rebuilding cards. Capital One Platinum, some local credit unions. Those don't charge these predatory fees.
But those are harder to get.
Much harder. For the average rebuilder in 2026, the marketplace is completely flooded with these fee harvesters. If you aren't careful, you step right into the trap.
So if the unsecured route is a minefield for rebuilders, the report pivots pretty hard to the alternative, the secured card.
Right.
Now, I know the immediate reaction from a lot of listeners. I don't want to pay to use my own money. It feels like a defeat. It feels like you're sitting in the penalty box.
It is the biggest psychological hurdle. But we really have to reframe it. You aren't paying a deposit, you are posting collateral.
Collateral, that sounds a lot more businesslike.
It is business. Think about it like renting an apartment. You put down a security deposit. Why? To minimize the landlord's risk.
Right.
When you have a sub 600 score, you are a high-risk borrower to a bank. The deposit minimizes their risk. But here's the critical difference between the secured card and the fee harvester. The deposit is refundable.
Exactly. The fee harvester takes your $259 and burned it. The secured card holds your $200 in a savings account and hands it right back to you if you play by the rules.
And the data supports this approach overwhelmingly. The report cites a massive statistic on this. Secured cards have a 92% higher graduation rate than subprime unsecured cards.
92%? That's not even a competition. That's a landslide. Why is the gap that big?
It really comes down to structure. Secured cards act like training wheels for the credit cycle. Because the limits are lower, usually exactly equal to your deposit, it prevents you from getting into massive debt while you're relearning financial habits.
You can't dig a $10,000 hole with a $200 shovel.
I love that image. And looking at the 2026 landscape, these aren't the ugly basic cards of 10 years ago. The source lists some serious contenders that actually offer real rewards now.
That's a huge shift. Secured cards used to be a barren wasteland.
Totally barren. Now, you have the Discover It Secured. Historically, this is the gold standard. You're getting 2% cash back at gas stations and restaurants.
Which is wild for a card that requires a deposit. You're basically earning rewards while you fix your past mistakes.
Exactly. Then you have the Capital One Quicksilver Secured. That's 1.5% flat rate rewards on everything you buy.
Those are rewards rates that compete with prime cards.
They absolutely do, but they are available on a secured product.
And there's a third one mentioned in the report, Chime Credit Builder. That one seems a bit different.
Yes, Chime is a hybrid model. It's incredibly popular right now because there's no credit check and no fixed deposit requirement in the traditional sense. You move money into the credit builder account, and that amount just becomes your limit for the month.
Okay, so it appeals to the zero credit crowd who are absolutely terrified of the hard inquiry.
Exactly.
Let's pause on that term for a second, hard inquiry. We hear hard pull and soft pull thrown around all the time in these deep dives. Can we explain that simply for anyone who isn't deep in the weeds?
Sure. Think of a soft pull, like a background check for a job interview. They're just peeking at your file to see if you're generally qualified. Doesn't leave a mark.
Right.
A hard pull is like applying for a mortgage. It goes on your permanent record. It tells other lenders, hey, this person is actively out there asking for money right now. And too many hard pulls makes you look desperate.
So Chime avoids that hard pull entirely.
Correct. But the trade-off is that Chime operates a bit differently than a traditional revolving credit card, which changes how it reports. But the main point here is you have solid options that don't involve paying $259 in phantom fees.
All right, so we've established that the secured card is the vehicle. But buying the gym membership doesn't get you in shape. You actually have to go to the gym and lift the weights.
True.
This is where the report gets really interesting to me. It moves from what card to get to how to actually graduate.
This is the strategy session. This is what separates the fiscal realists from the people who just drift through the system. It's called the 185-day graduation logic.
185 days. It's very specific. Why that exact number?
Because in 2026, major banks like Discover and Capital One are leaning heavily on AI-driven reviews. They aren't paying a human underwriter to stare at your file every month. The algorithm is programmed to look for specific triggers, and the standard trigger is 6 consecutive months of data.
So 6 months is roughly 180 days. The computer basically wakes up and checks your file.
Right. The algorithm checks a few things. Did you make 6 on-time payments? Is your utilization low? If the answer is yes, the system automatically triggers graduation.
Let's put this into the real world. The report tracks a case study. Sarah, a teacher with a 580 credit score. She starts this 185-day clock. What does her actual journey look like?
Okay, so Sarah ignores the fee harvester mail she gets in her trash. Instead, she scrapes together $200. That's her seed money. She opens a Discover.It secured card.
She puts the deposit down. Now, fast forward, she's paying her bills. What happens on day 180? Why is that specific day so important in the daily fiscal timeline?
That is the AI review window. Sarah has made 6 on-time payments perfectly. On day 187, literally right after that 6-month mark processed, she got the notification. Deposit returned. A check for $200 just shows up in her mailbox.
That's a great day, but it gets even better for Sarah.
It does. By day 210, her credit limit was increased from $200 to $1,500.
Without her even asking.
And without a hard credit pull. The bank's internal system just said, she's reliable, give her more room to breathe. She went from a secured user with a 580 score to a prime borrower with a $1,500 limit in just 7 months.
That is the power of playing the game correctly.
It is.
It's not magic, it's really just feeding the algorithm exactly what it wants to eat. But of course, things can go wrong. The report outlines execution errors. Basically, how to screw this up even if you have the right card in your wallet.
There are 3 main traps.
Yeah.
And the first one is absolutely the most common, the max out trap.
This one is tricky because, logically, if I give the bank $200, I feel like I should be able to spend $200. Why is that wrong?
It's wrong because of utilization. Think of your credit limit like a fuel gauge. If you are constantly driving on empty, meaning maxing out your card, the bank thinks you're in trouble. They think you need that money to survive. That makes you look incredibly risky.
So the algorithm essentially hates desperation.
Exactly. The report calls it the sub-20 rule. If you have a $200 limit, never allow a statement close with more than $20 on it. That's 10%. You want to look like you're just sipping the credit, not chugging it.
So buy a sandwich, pay it off. Buy a coffee, pay it off. Just don't buy a TV.
Treat it like a debit card with a superpower, not a credit card to finance a lifestyle you can't afford.
Okay, what about the second trap? Missing the graduation window.
This happens when people pick the wrong secured card to begin with. Some store secured cards or obscure subprime cards simply never graduate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you could have perfect behavior for 18 months, and they will still hold your deposit hostage. If you are stuck there, you are just wasting time. You need to be on a platform that actually wants to graduate you, like the major issuers we mentioned.
And the third trap, ignoring the hard pull.
This is just an unforced error. Every time you apply for a card, your score dings. If you have a 550 score, you cannot afford to just spray and pray applications all over the internet.
The strategy here is using pre-approval tools, right?
Soft pulls. Go to the website, Capital One, Discover, whoever it is, and use the See If I'm Pre-Approved button. It checks your credit without hurting your score at all. You only actually apply if the computer says you're highly likely to get it. It saves you from the damage of a rejection.
Okay, so we know the enemy, the fee harvester.
Yeah.
We know the vehicle, the secured card.
Right.
We know the rules. Keep the tank full, don't drive on empty. Now, I want to walk through the real climax of this report, the 12-month resurrection plan. This is the step-by-step.
This is the exact blueprint. If you're listening and you want to fix your credit by this exact time next year, this is what you do.
All right, let's start the clock. Day 1 and day 2. What are we doing?
Day 1, you sit down at your computer. Use a soft pull pre-approval tool. Specifically, check the major players first. Discover Capital One. Then day 2, fund the deposit. Scrape together that $200 to $500. Sell something if you absolutely have to.
Because this is your seed money.
Exactly. It's an investment. It is not an expense.
Okay, day 30, we have the physical card now.
You set up autopay. It's non-negotiable. And you set it for the full statement balance. You never want to pay a dime of interest, and you never want to miss a due date. A single missed payment blows this entire 12-month plan up.
Jump forward to day 90. We are 3 months in.
Check your score. By now, you've got 3 months of pristine payment history and very low utilization. You should genuinely expect a 30 to 50-point jump. The history is starting to age. The banks are seeing that you aren't flaking out.
Okay, now we hit the big one. Day 180, the critical moment.
This is where you get proactive. If it hasn't happened automatically, you call the issuer.
You actually call them.
Yes, get a human on the phone. You reference the 185-day logic. You ask them directly, is my account eligible for graduation? You nudge them. Sometimes the AI algorithm just needs a little push from a human override.
And assuming you've been good, day 210 arrives.
You are officially graduated, the deposit is back in your pocket, your score is likely 650 or higher. Now, you apply for a mid-tier rewards card, an unsecured one.
You have crossed the bridge.
You have. You are no longer in the subprime bucket.
And finally, day 365. 1 full year from today.
Request a credit limit increase on that new unsecured card. This lowers your total utilization even further. You are now fully in the driver's seat.
And what does being in the driver's seat actually mean? Why did we go through all this trouble?
It means access. It means when you walk into a car dealership, you qualify for the 0% or 1.9% financing instead of getting hit with a 14% predatory loan. It means you can actually qualify for a mortgage. It means access to premium travel rewards. The doors that were completely padlocked to you a year ago are now wide open.
It's amazing how methodical it is when you lay it out. It takes the emotion entirely out of it. It's just execute the steps.
That's the fiscal realist way. The credit system is fundamentally an algorithm. You can't charm it, you can't beg it, and it really doesn't care about your sob story. But you can definitely game it if you know the rules of the road.
So, bringing it all home, what is the final verdict from the daily fiscal?
The verdict is crystal clear. If you can physically afford the $200 deposit, always start with a major issuer secured card. Avoid the fee harvester at all costs. The transparency of getting your deposit back is powerful.
Because the fee harvester is designed to keep you in a cycle of poverty.
Yes, and the secured card is designed to launch you out of it.
And I think the final thought they left us with in the report is really poignant. It's about momentum.
It is. They make the point that rebuilding credit isn't just a financial exercise, it's a battle for momentum. The goal isn't just to get the piece of plastic. The goal is proving to yourself and the system that you are a reliable borrower.
That psychological shift is huge.
When you see that score jump 50 points, when you actually see that deposit check come back in the mail, it changes how you see yourself. You stop seeing yourself as a financial victim, and you start seeing yourself as a financial strategist.
That's the shift right there. From victim to strategist. The math simply doesn't lie. You can pay $259 to borrow $300, or you can put down $200 and build a solid future.
It's an easy choice when you see the numbers.
It really is. And before we wrap this deep dive, I want to leave you with a thought that isn't actually in the daily fiscal report, but it builds on everything we just discussed.
Oh, what's that?
Think about what happens as this AI scoring gets even more advanced. If these banking algorithms are just hungry for predictable, boring consistency, your credit score is essentially becoming a digital proxy for your character.
That's a fascinating way to look at it.
Right. As AI gets better at tracking our habits, maybe the next frontier isn't just financial credit, but behavioral credit. Your success in this system isn't just about money anymore. It's a measurable active discipline in a world that profits off your impulsivity.
Wow. Proving you have impulse control.
Exactly. Something to chew on while you go check those pre-approval tools. Thanks for diving in with us today. We'll see you on the next deep dive.